Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This is my GTX 970, more specifically my EVGA Superclocked edition with the ACX 2.0 cooler. And this thing is 6 years old, but it doesn't perform like a 6-year-old card. It actually performs quite well, and we'll go through that in the benchmarks today. But this card is quite powerful still in 2020. It launched all the way back in 2014, it was late 2014, which makes this graphics card just over 6 years old now. And for the time, this would have been a beast. It launched for about 329 USD. Now you can pick one up on the used market for around 80 British pounds. I don't know how much that is in dollars, I'll put it up on the screen. But yeah, it's an excellent used deal. Kicking off the benchmarks with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, we averaged on the medium preset 50 FPS, which isn't too bad actually considering the age of the card. And then we got a 1% low of 34 FPS and a 0.1% low of 7 FPS. This isn't because of the card, it's because Ubisoft games are basically spaghetti code, so the card's fine. Not too bad in Odyssey actually. Wonder how it would perform in Valhalla though. May need to test that game in the future. I don't have it at the minute, so I will need to buy it. Next game in the benchmark is F1 2020, and I'm actually surprised how well Codemasters optimise their games. It's optimised really well, especially for older hardware like this. F1 was the only game I managed to get up to the Ultra preset, and it did it really well. On the Australian wet race benchmark, we managed to get 96 FPS on average. For our 1% low, we managed to get 78 FPS, and our 0.1% low, we managed to get 71 FPS, so no stutter there really, and it performs really well, and this is the worst case scenario for this game. It's really wet and there's loads of cars bunched up. Overall, really happy with the performance of F1 2020. Codemasters have done a really good job optimising this game, and yeah, you'll have no problem running this on a 970 at all. Next game in our benchmark is GTA 5. I'm expecting this to perform pretty well as it come out around the same time where this card was launched. And we managed to get high and very high settings out of GTA 5. No advanced settings though, they tend to gobble a bit more performance, but there is some headroom for them if you want them enabled. The benchmark that I used on this game wasn't the built-in one, it was me driving from Michael's house to the Los Santos Customs by the sort of industrial area in the game. So you get a bit of suburban driving and a bit of city driving as well, so it's pretty much worst case scenario for the game as well. So on average we managed 94 FPS, that's quite good in GTA 5. 1% low of 65 FPS, not too bad, and a 0.1% low of 55 FPS, still not too bad. I can't report any stuttering from my end, but there may have been some micro stutters, but overall performance is pretty great in GTA 5 as well. Next up is the insanely popular Call of Duty Warzone. Everyone's been playing Warzone recently, and on the medium preset with high textures, the 970 didn't handle too badly actually, managing 73 FPS on average with a 1% low of 54 FPS and a 0.1% low of 46. That's not too bad. All these benchmark results were taken just wandering around the Battle Royale map in Verdansk, just wandering around playing the game as you usually would, just shooting people and surviving. What else do you do in a Battle Royale? Looting maybe? I can confirm it was a stutter-free experience, and if you want to lower the settings, maybe get a high refresh rate, say if you've got a 120 or 144Hz monitor, I believe this graphics card could be able to hit around 100 FPS easily. So for the final game in our benchmark, I decided to really test the 970 with maybe one of the most intensive games I've ever played, and that's Red Dead Redemption 2. And actually, I was pleasantly surprised by how well the 970 performs on the medium preset in Red Dead Redemption 2. Not only that, I managed to get high textures on there as well, but I was really cutting close to the VRAM limit. During the built-in benchmark where John or Arthur robs the shop and runs through Saint Denis, we averaged 50 FPS, which isn't too bad actually. Following that, we got a 1% low of 36 FPS and a 0.1% low of 32 FPS, so not a lot of stutter there. It wasn't the smoothest gameplay experience, to be honest, but it wasn't too bad. This is pretty much as demanding as the game gets. And it was a lot better than the Xbox One or the PS4, because I believe they use settings which are lower than low. And of course, you get a high frame rate as well. 50 FPS on average definitely beats 30 on average. So yeah, not bad in Red Dead Redemption 2. No real issues to complain of, really. Okay, after all that benchmarking, this is still quite powerful considering it's 6 years old. I was impressed by Red Dead Redemption 2, which is notoriously a very GPU demanding game, and it managed to get an average of 50 FPS, I think it was. And in F1 as well, where it averaged just under 100 FPS. So this card, if you still got it or you want to get a decently powerful graphics card on a budget, look no further. And that will be the end of the video. If you want to recommend any more games for me to benchmark, let me know either in the comments or on my Twitter. It will be in the top corner there or in the description, either one of them. But yeah, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you may consider the 970. It's still pretty powerful, as we've seen. So if you like the video, like it. If you liked it even more, subscribe.